Good morning or good afternoon. Here we are in science again. So today we're going to be in life cycles and traits still for Unit 4. So click on those purple words, please. Scroll down slightly. Today we're going to move to our next lesson, which is Lesson 4, Why do some members of a species survive and not others? So we're going to click on that. Today, since we're starting this lesson, you're going to do the observing phenomena. So if we click on this, and I know yours is a little bit different, but observing phenomena, you can open that up. And many animals have fur that is a similar color to the environment that they live in. Can you think of any examples? Now, I'm hoping that you're making a connection to, I'm going to pause for a moment so you can maybe fill in the blank, like we're actually having a class and your hands are jumping up in the air and I would call on somebody. When did we talk about animals and their fur blending into the environment they live around to protect themselves? Yes, that is correct. In Benchmark Unit 3, Animal Adaptations. And that vocabulary word that allows them to blend in is what? Yes, correct. Camouflage. So we can see that this cheetah is kind of blending into that tall savanna grass, as well as whatever that little creature is that he's trying to eat as prey. You're going to go ahead and watch this phenomenon. I haven't clicked the play button, but just glancing at first look, I don't see camouflage going on around right here. I see this white little animal that's standing out in the green grass. I think it would be easy for a predator to spot him. But go ahead and watch that phenomenon, and you can kind of think about that question. So there's your phenomenon. I do believe the video is linked in the slide as well if you were unable to get it to work on TCI. All right, but we're going to go ahead and move into the text with notes. So we're going to click on that purple bar again. And we are going to talk about the introduction today and section 1. Again, I really feel like this information is going to be just supporting some of the things that we've already learned way back in the fall when we did animal adaptation. So I think this will just be in addition to the knowledge that you already have. So introduction, I'm going to keep it just in here for the moment. So you can look at the check for understanding that you'll need to do and take a screenshot and post to Seesaw. And then we're also going to move into section 1 today. So why do some members of a species survive and not others? Which of these animals do you think will survive? Well, which one? Clearly, I believe the cheetah is going to survive. A, he's the fastest animal on the planet, and B, he is bigger than that other guy. So I think he's going to win the battle. All organisms, again, organisms are just living things, try to survive and reproduce. But you will learn why not all organisms are able to do this. By observing plants and animals, you can explain which traits help them survive and reproduce. So again, when we were talking back in Benchmark, we talked about how animals have adaptations that allow them to adapt and come up with a way or ways to survive in their habitat. So for example, polar bears have that fur that allows them to live in the Arctic. They also have those special pads on their feet that allow them to walk on the ice and not slip. So they're adapting or finding ways to survive in their habitat or to protect themselves from predators and not become prey, or allow themselves to be a predator and not be detected so they can pounce on their prey. So go ahead and do this check for understanding by looking at those questions and then clicking on the orange button. All right, I am also, you can click on, oh no, I lost my little pointer thing. You can go ahead, oh here it is. You can go ahead and click on the section box and go to section 1 if you should so choose to do so in TCI. I'm going to actually print on or click on the printer icon, click onto my Shero and send this to Notability so I can annotate. This is totally up to you if you would like to do that as well. It is totally your decision. But you know, as usual, you will have to head back to TCI to complete the check for understanding. So, I'm sorry, let me just get situated here. And then we'll be off and running. All right, Notability, thank you so much for cooperating. All right, so we just tackled the intro, but some vocabulary. Camouflage, again, I think that we know what that is. Mate, we're going to talk about reproduce and survive. That just means you're still going to be living, still alive. I always think about you're still alive to tell the tale about how you survived. All right, so section 1 is what we're doing today. So survival is important to organisms. So again, organisms, just living things. Total review based on the things we've talked about this year. All right, what if dogs stopped making more dogs? There would be no more puppies on Earth. What would happen to dogs? They would soon disappear. So that's kind of like, that makes me think of like extinction or becoming endangered because they're not able to reproduce and their species is becoming less and less in the world. There's a lot of animals that are falling into that category. Actually, some of you have been writing about that in CISA during your remote learning about the koalas and the different animals that you're concerned about in Australia due to the wildfires. So that's a great connection right there. So organisms reproduce or make more of their own species of organisms. So here is our definition of reproduce. Make more of their own species of organisms. So we're going to just show that that's the definition of reproduce. Producing offspring makes sure that there will be more members of a species. All living things reproduce. Being able to survive is also important for all organisms. To survive means to stay alive. Oh, that's exactly what I said up above, and I didn't read that. Some animals hunt other animals to survive. Those other animals try to avoid being eaten. For an eagle to survive, it must hunt and eat rabbits. For a rabbit to survive, it must run and hide from eagles. So this makes me think of like the predator and the prey. Predators, prey. So in that example, the predators would be the eagle. The prey would be the rabbit. Plants also try to survive. Plants need light to make food. A plant's leaves grow and move to take in more sunlight. And I know we've talked about this in some stories we've read in the past, or maybe some guided reading groups, like different environments or different habitats. There's different levels, like I think the rainforest, for example. Some of those trees create the canopy and they take all the sunlight. So the plants that are beneath those trees, they don't get the sunlight. So they have to adapt in order to be able to survive. They either have to find windows of the sunlight to come in, or they just don't need sunlight to survive. So just another connection. All right, so that is where we are for section 1 today. Let's go back to TCI and see what the check for understanding looks like. I need to get out of this. Go back. Here we go. So click here, section 1. Oh, so true and not true. This looks fun. So 3 out of the 6 claims about animals and plants in this image are true. Drag and drop each statement to the correct category. All right, so you're just going to drag. I just am making that up. I was just demonstrating how it works. So you're just going to click on the box, drag it. If it's not correct, drag it back and you can try it again. Once you have that correct, check your answers and you can take a screenshot and post that